Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how I stitched this initial onto this bathrobe using my Tajima Sai. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so for this stitch out, I'm going to be using the Mighty Hoop 5.5 magnetic hoop along with a 5.5 fixture that's attached to the freestyle base here. Now, as far as actually measuring the distance on this robe for where the design is going to be. Let me scoot that over for a moment. As far as measuring the actual distance, I truly just kind of winged it this time because this is for myself and I just wanted to make sure that the S was right here as far as the center. What I did, I just took the hoop, laid it over where I thought I wanted it to be. And maybe I wanted to come out a little bit, but no, I think this is going to be good because that's about how it's going to look. So this is where I want the center of the design to be, and I'm going to try my best to get it on the hoop in the center, okay? So let me move the robe to the side for now and bring this back over. I'm going to open up my hoop. This part is the longer part. This is the part that's going to be facing out when you have your hoop on the machine. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to open up these magnets. I've got fusible mesh that I'm going to put down. I actually cut it. It looks like I just tore it, but I actually did cut it. And I'm going to put that in here. Let's make sure there's enough. And I'm going to fold it just to be sure that it's as snug as possible. So now I have the mesh in there. And it's got the bumpy side facing up because this is the fusible kind that you can iron and make it stick to the back of your fabric. So you do want to make sure that if you're using the fusible mesh, that it is facing the back of whatever garment you're putting it on, okay? And so now I'm going to take my robe and try my best to get that tape that I have. I don't have any dots, but I'm going to try to take the tape, try to make sure that that tape is in the center. And let's see here. And as far as like squaring it up, you could very well have just done like a cross in the middle with some tailor's chalk just to make sure that it is squared up as well as possible. And that's probably something that I should have done, and I just thought of it like just now. So we're going to see if I can get the shoulders squared up so that I think that's almost square. You know what? That tailor's chalk sounds like a good idea. Okay, so that was an idea that just kind of hit me in the middle of recording this. And so I'm going to move that back out of the way. I am going to bring my robe here. And the thing about the tailor's chalk, it will wash out. It'll be okay. And so I know that the shoulder is squared up there. Get that seam here squared up. And when I say squared up, I mean it's all even. So the seams are the back and the front of the arm sleeve seam right here. This is all lined up together, okay? So I'm going to lay that there. I want this to be the center. So I'm just going to draw some crosshairs here. I don't know if you can see them or not, but I can. And this will give me a better idea of getting that hooped and lined up better. And now I'm going to bring that back over here. Let me move this here. And I think that looks about as squared up as I can get it. I know it's hard for you all to see, but I'm just trying to make sure this is going up and down and this is going side to side, okay? And now I'm going to take my top frame, top of the hoop. I'm going to slide it in here. And I do think that's going to be good or good enough. I think I want to move it a little bit. Not good enough. So I'll undo that. And this is a whole lot easier than trying to hoop and re-hoop with the plastic hoops that came with the machine. So I really don't mind readjusting and re-hooping with these mighty hoops for sure. And let's see here, where is that at? So it was too far over that way. So I feel like that might be better. I think so. Yes, I like that. And the tape is about as centered as I'm gonna get it. Okay, so now we're gonna get some water-soluble stabilizer to put on top of this. And that way we'll know that those knockdown stitches are getting knocked down. I still keep my water soluble in a bag. It's kind of double bagged so that it doesn't dry out. And I'm really just going to drape it over here like this. I will put a little piece of tape on it just to hold it in place when I get to the machine. But let's go ahead and get to the machine and get this started. Alrighty, so this is the Tajima Sai 8 needle embroidery machine, and although this is a little bit heavier of a project, it should stitch just fine on it. I do, however, have a little stool sitting right in front of the machine simply because this machine, when I purchased it, it didn't really have a table option. So I do want to make sure when I put this in that this part that's kind of sticking out is facing out towards me, okay? I do have a full bobbin, I think. Yes, I do have a full bobbin. And I am going to slide this over that arm and get it hooped in. I'm just going to gather this and set it on the stool so it's not dragging all over the floor, and I don't want to put any strain on the arms that it doesn't need. So I'm going to drape this water soluble right under there, and then I do have some tape, or at least I thought I did. Okay, I do have a little bit of painter's tape that I'm just going to kind of loop and put at the bottom of the robe on the fabric, just kind of out of the way. And really, it's not necessary. You could just let it float over it, but let me show you what I'm saying. It's just right there at the bottom, kind of out of the way. But this is just so that in my mind, I know that it's not gonna shift or anything, or it'll shift a little bit, but it won't come off while it's stitching. So that tape might be too big, and we're gonna find out when I do this trace. But first we have to pull up the design, right? Okay, so in pulling up this design, we're going to hit that little flower. USB is where it's at. So I'm just going to scroll through And I know it's the very last design that's going to come up because it's the last design that I put on that USB port. I do want to delete fine stitches, and the colors are I'm going to use those colors. The knockdown stitch normally shows up as white, but I stitched this before, so I'm going to use this again, and it's already showing as black. And then I've got blue. Yes, I'm going to use the blue as well. So now all we have to do is go through the steps, trace, and make sure that the design fits, and we will go on. So I'm going to hit set, and I have tubular 1 as the frame being used because the Mighty Hoops aren't programmable into the Tajima Sai. So because the 5.5 is clearly bigger than tubular 2, which tubular 2 on the Tajima Sai, that is the 4x4. So you can't use that one. So I keep it on tubular 1, and that way I just have to make sure I trace to be sure that it fits within the parameters of this frame. The laser crosshairs that are on the side make it really helpful. I don't know if you can see those or not, but I keep my eye on the crosshairs just to make sure that I can see that the design will stitch. So I'm going to go through, and let me zoom out for you. I'm going to hit set, and I'm measuring, or I'm tracing based off of the center of the design. So that dot is lit up in the middle there. And I'm going to hit set again. And now this is where you have your opportunity to adjust where the placement is of the design. You can slide it up or down or side to side. I don't want to do that because my crosshairs are showing that it is in the center of the frame. So I'm going to hit set again. Tracing is executed. And so I'm looking at the crosshairs, and I think we will just make it past that, the tape. I'm going to go back just so I could try to show you a little bit closer that laser light. And I just went back and I hit tracing is executed. Okay, and so now all we need to do is press start. Alrighty, so right off the bat, that black thread is gonna give me problems. So I'm sure it's just, so this is needle 6. I'm sure it's just because I just threaded that and I probably did not pull it through far enough, but things like this will happen. And you just rethread it. And okay, got that. And I want to clip it just so that I can get that into the needle. I wish I had a way to record up close when I'm threading it. I'll have to figure that out one day. And that went behind the presser foot, so that would definitely cause a problem. What in the world, girl, did you do? Okay, I'm just going to pull it out from up here and make sure it is going through the track up here correctly. Then through here. And then it goes behind this little bar. Sometimes I could get it, sometimes I can't. I think I had problems with the green thread in another video I was recording. And it's always when I'm first getting started. Goodness gracious. But look, sometimes you just have to be patient when it comes to these machines. It's not always going to be perfect the first time or run smoothly the first time. So don't stress yourself out about it if you have issues. Because we all have them. We just don't all record them. I shouldn't have laughed like that, but hey. And I don't know why in the world I keep getting this thread behind the presser foot. This is the goofiest mess here. And now I'm pulling the blue. I'm going to grab some tweezers or something because that will make this a lot easier. And I see my blue thread is getting ready to slip through. I'm going to pull that back up. Okay. Okay, so now it's where it should be. What I'm going to do is, okay, I'm going to hit that reset button. It's already stitched 15 stitches, so I'm going to back it up 15 stitches. Okay, and so we are going to start this again. I'm glad that I do have the water soluble on it because I oiled the machine maybe 3 days ago, but I haven't used it. So oil was sputtering. And I'm just going to pull this a little bit just to tighten it. Not tighten it, but just to keep it from folding under is what I was thinking. But I don't think it's going to fold under. It'll be fine. Don't put your fingers in the stitching field though, okay? And this is not a whole lot of stitches. It's 6,668 stitches, so it's not going to take long at all. I am only running at 600 stitches per minute. Normally I'm running this machine at 700, but I don't remember why I was running it at 600, so it'll be fine. And the knockdown stitch is going down in black because the idea behind having a knockdown stitch is so that the pile of the fabric that you want your embroidery to be on isn't sticking up, but you don't want it to be a different color. You don't want the knockdown to be obviously a knockdown. So it's matching the color of the fabric that it's being stitched on, just so that it's not so prominent. I hope that makes sense to you. And then the main stitching is what you'll see going on top of it once it's done being stitched. It is almost done with the knockdown. And I like with the way that the side does it on the screen. It kind of erases the stitches as it finishes them. Let me turn that light off. Okay, sorry about all that jolting around. But as it's stitching it, it kind of erases going up. Okay, so now we are already on the second color, and I'm gonna hit stop real quick and I'll tell you why. Okay, remember I just put these threads in and I could see where the blue thread is kind of hanging out right here. And sometimes you do have to watch that. When I first got a multi-needle, I thought, oh, I don't have to worry about extra threads hanging. But if you first thread your machine and you pull it out too far, you have too long of a tail, you will have trailing thread outside, you know, when you first start stitching. So now we're ready to finish. This particular font, I honestly can't remember what the name of it is. However, I do know that it's from Stitchtopia. This is actually one of the fonts that's not a Designs by Juju font. I got this from Stitchtopia. And she has some beautiful fonts. And you can find her on Etsy and at stitchtopia.com. I was trying to think of something to talk about while this thing is stitching, and I just kind of got hypnotized watching the stitches going back and forth. Sorry, y'all. But like I said before, this is just a 4x4 design, and it's something that every embroidery machine can do, because the smallest embroidery machine hoops for the flatbed start out at a 4x4. Some of them just have a 4x4. I know my first embroidery machine only had the 4x4 hoop, and it was discouraging. But had I known all the different 4x4 designs and things that you could do with just a 4x4 hoop, I don't think I would have been so in a rush to get bigger hoops, but eventually you will want bigger hoops. All done. So this is, that's better. Okay, so I'm going to tear this off here so that all that shininess from the stabilizer is not so distracting. Well, see here. Okay, but remember when I was saying that with the knockdown stitch, the main purpose is so that the background is knocked down and the main design is seen. This is what I mean. So I hope that that made sense to you all. I like the way this stitched out. I will get a little Q-tip or something and try to clean up some of the edges, but for the most part, I am pleased with the way that stitches. I'll take her out the mighty hoop and see how it actually looks lined up, though. The truth will be seen. Alrighty, so here's the moment of truth. Not too terrible. It could have been a little further to the left and up for sure. And if I was doing this for someone else, I would definitely have brought out the measurements so that I can get it measured up and placed a lot better than this now that I'm looking at it. But you get the gist of it. What I'll do next is I will clip this off and clean it up. I'll press it down so that it doesn't move or anything. And that is it. So, hey y'all, squat down and say hi. Thank you all for stopping by. I hope that you'll come back. Please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And until next time, you all keep taking care of yourselves.